techniques to my hand.
Since 1864, Epworth Children Family Services has offered services that assist children and youth move towards self-sufficiency. Next month, they will host their 17th annual wine dinner and auction. And here to share more about the organization, and then we're going to get into this great fundraiser, is Mike Panicola. He is the president and CEO of Epworth Children and Family Services. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon.
Epworth is a huge multi-service agency, so I know it's really, we appreciate your time to come in here because it's not an easy position to be in. Before we get into this big fundraiser that you do every year, which is really exciting, I kind of want to remind people, we've got this big banner back here, but what it is that Epworth does and this role that it's played in the community for clearly well over 100 years.
Sure. Well, you mentioned our history. We were founded in 1864, so for 155 years, I think the best way to describe it is we've been providing hope and opportunity to the least, the lost, and the forgotten of society. We have a continuum of programs for children, youth, and families with a focus on health, housing, education, and employment.
Okay, so let's kind of just get into, I've driven by your campus, your location in Webster Groves. You have a couple other locations as well?
We do, yes. Yes, so we're in Webster Groves. That's primarily where our residential services are provided, as well as we house a lot of our team members and colleagues from the various programs.
Okay.
We've been there since 1940s.
Wow.
We also have a drop-in center and other services provided in Normandy. And then lastly, we have what's called a transitional living program where we own an apartment complex in U City right next to the Coca building.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
So let's just go on a day-to-day. Like, what would a day-to-day look like in terms of the services that you're providing? It's a lot, and I know we don't have like a full hour to talk about it, but just in a nutshell so people know specifically, because when you look at this list, family support network, clinical and prevention services, supportive services, how does this operations look when you're, from your position looking down, what is going on a kind of day-to-day basis?
Sure, I think the best way to describe it is tell a couple stories about, the impact we have. And so a day-to-day, the other day I was walking through our campus in Webster, and where we house it's called our Youth Emergency Shelter. So that's a short-term stay for kids who have, for a variety of reasons, are displaced at home or are homeless. And so ran into this young woman, I can't disclose names, but ran into this young woman. It was very early in the morning too, and she was coming back and she was really excited. She was kind of floating on air, and I said, "Hey, what's going on? You look so professional today." And she said, she was beaming. She said, "I had an interview today and I got a job." And she's like, "This is the most money I've ever made." And she said, Miss Tamara helped me with my resume, and I never saw like my life's work put on paper, and that's what they really liked about me. So that's an example of one of the programs, but we have many others, and the stories there's an abundance of those types of stories.
Yeah, I think and I mean, I don't think people realize when we pick up the newspaper and we read different stories, there are people in the community who are keeping our communities uplifted and keeping them afloat. And Epworth is one of those. And we have some photos I just want to kind of throw up there too, and you can show up. You mentioned homelessness, and I think we've got a photo, not that one, but there was one of you holding sort of a hashtag. Tell me briefly about the work that you're doing
around the housing, homelessness. So we have a number of programs. So around the housing continuum. It ranges from the shelter, which I just talked about, the Youth Emergency Shelter, but it also goes across to, we have this transitional living program, which is the place in U City where youth come and stay, and it's 24/7 supervised by our youth advisors. We also have case management and therapeutic services that we provide. And essentially, I said providing hope and opportunity. We're giving them a safe space, a stable house, and in so doing, we're also providing comprehensive wraparound services. So, employment help, therapeutic services, helping them reintegrate into education if that's what they want to, VOTEC schools, things of that nature, daily living skills and things of that. So, and then we have, I'll tell you, then across that, so shelter, transitional living, independent living, which is similar, but they're more independent than transitional. Then we have a great program called Entrada, where we have 10 individuals who are overseen and work with a case manager from Epworth, and it's right in South City.
Wow. So much going on there,
Yeah.
so much, but really vital, really important and essential work. Really interesting stuff. We're going to talk about this big fundraiser coming up,
Okay.
but we do have to take a break.
Okay.
But right now on your screen, it's going to be the information for the wine dinner and auction, which is coming up. We're going to get into all the details in the next segment. But for more information about Epworth, we've only really just touched on a fraction, really, of what it is that Epworth has done in the community and continues to do. So head to their website, epworth.org, or you can call 314-961-5718. But don't go anywhere. We are going to get into the details of the wine dinner and auction coming up. So we'll be right back. Stick with us.